So, like I said, I'm not going to give my opinion on this. This is whether or not Mayor Bill De Blasio, if his mandate for those to be vaccinated in order to do anything, if it's constitutional. And the answer to that question,
keep it 100, I be feeling like Campbell soup over white rice, baked chicken with the skin on, yeah, Lowry's with black pepper, I'm fully seasoned with laughter.
What's up, y'all? Again, sorry for my setup. I just had surgery a few days ago, so my setup is going to be like this for a couple of months. But I decided not to take my medication this time for this type of video because I couldn't do research while being on medication. It's impossible because the medication puts me completely to sleep. So you're going to see me with actual levels of energy today for the first time in a little bit. But for videos where I have to do any type of research that's not opinionated, mostly opinionated, I'm not going to take my medication before doing the videos. The trade-off for that is I'm going to be in a little pain, but it's okay. I took my medication right before the video. I know I have about 30 minutes before it kicks in, so I'll be good in that time period. So what I want to talk about today is, many of you know or may not know, New York City Mayor Bill De Blasio, he mandated that all New Yorkers get vaccines if they want to do anything, pretty much. If they want to go to gyms, if they want to eat indoors, if they want to attend any indoor activities at all, you have to be vaccinated and prove that you're vaccinated. At least show that you got one dose. So, and there's this whole effort to get people vaccinated where they're giving people $100 Metro cards. 1 week Metro cards or $100 in cash in order to be vaccinated. So apparently that program is very popular and it caused many more people to be vaccinated. I believe so far in New York City, of a population of 8 million, over 5 million received at least one dose of the vaccine. So I'm not going to talk about my opinion on this vaccination. The mandatory enforcement of people getting the vaccination. I'm not going to talk about that today. What I'm going to talk about is if it's constitutional or not. So my opinion will be completely divorced from this video. I will only talk about the constitutionality of this mandatory vaccination. So in 1901, a smallpox epidemic swept through Cambridge, Massachusetts, in the northeast region of the U.S. Cambridge, Massachusetts, responding to this crisis, required that all of its citizens get vaccinated or they'd be forced to pay a $5 fine, which is, adjusted for today's inflation, it would be $200 today. But a few people, of course, quite a few people, they didn't approve of this. One of those people being Pastor Henning Jacobson, who suggested that he and his son were injured by the previous vaccination and they refused to pay the fine. So this case, it went to the Supreme Court, where he argued the Massachusetts law requiring a vaccine was a violation of the due process under the 14th Amendment, particularly the right to live and work where he will, under the precedent of Aguirre versus Louisiana in 1897, a case that found state law preventing certain out-of-state insurance corporations from conducting business in the state was unconstitutional restriction of freedom of contract under the 14th Amendment. 14th Amendment Section 1 reads, "All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any laws which abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property, without due process of law, nor deny any person within its jurisdiction the equal protection of the law. In the case of Jacobson v. Massachusetts, on February 20th, 1905, the Supreme Court ruled by a 7-2 majority that the city of Cambridge, Massachusetts could fine its residents who refused smallpox injections and rejected Jacobson's arguments. Justice John Marshall Harlan wrote about the police power of the state to regulate for protection of public health. The good and welfare of the Commonwealth, of which a legislature is primarily the judge, is the basis on which the power rests in Massachusetts, Harlan said. Upon the principle of self-defense of paramount necessity, a community has the right to protect itself against an epidemic of disease which threatens the safety of its members. So it's pretty settled. The state has a right to fine people who refuse to get a vaccine, which Mayor Bill De Blasio is not doing. But what about actually forcing people to get vaccines? Well, in 1922, in King versus Lutch, I believe I'm saying that name right, the Supreme Court ruled that the state can require vaccination for children. And similar cases came up later, and it all ruled in favor of public protection. So there is precedent on whether the state is allowed to require people to get vaccinations. And there are sometimes exemptions. The state can force those even who want an exemption for religious reasons. They can force those people to get vaccines as well, and there's precedent for this. The only thing the state can't overrule is a valid health reason for why people may not want to get the vaccination. Those reasons normally include if a person has an allergic reaction to the vaccine. The state cannot require a person who is allergic to anything in the vaccine to get it, but you have to show proof. So, like I said, I'm not going to give my opinion on this. This is whether or not Mayor Bill De Blasio, if his mandate for those to be vaccinated in order to do anything, if it's constitutional. And the answer to that question is yes. He is allowed to do this. He's fully within his right. And anyone who tries to sue will lose that lawsuit. Now, if this is done federally, it's constitutional. It's well within the means of the federal government to do so. Will it be done federally? I doubt it. And here's the reason why. Mayor Bill De Blasio, I believe the reason he did this, I said I wasn't going to include opinion, but here's a little bit of opinion. Not on whether I agree with him doing so or not, but just my opinion on his logic behind this. Mayor Bill De Blasio, he's on his way out. He can no longer run for a third term as mayor of New York City, so he doesn't have to worry about losing. At least his term as mayor is up. He's not popular enough to run for, let's say, governor. And he tried a presidential bid, which went horrifically. So he's very likely not going to run for office again, at least in the near future. Not in New York City, at least. So he doesn't have to worry about losing anything. His political career is effectively over at this point. So I believe the reason he did this is because there's not going to be any backlash to him doing so. He is effectively done in New York City politics at the very least. So he did this because he had nothing to lose, pretty much. So to answer the question, why I believe it will be done federally, I will say no. And the reason I say that is because Joe Biden and the Democrats have a lot to lose. Like I said, this isn't something based on, not really something opinionated. I'm not going to go into what I believe it is right or wrong for forced vaccination. That's not the point of this video. So I don't believe Joe Biden will do it because this isn't something that's very popular, and there will be political consequences, I believe, if they were to mandate everyone to get vaccines. So this is just anecdotal data. So from people that I know, even people who are vaccinated, they're against Mayor Bill De Blasio's actions in order to mandate vaccinations, in order to do anything. If you want to work, you have to be vaccinated. If you want to go to the gym, you have to be vaccinated. And any indoor activity, you must be vaccinated. Even people who are fully vaccinated that I know, they say this is a step too far. They don't agree with this whatsoever. So Mayor Bill De Blasio doesn't have to worry about any backlash because he's on his way out. Joe Biden and the Democrats have everything to worry about because there's midterms coming up in a year, in a couple of months, not even a year, in about a year, midterms are coming up, and Joe Biden has a re-election efforts in less than 3 years, over 3 years. I can't do math. A little over 3 years, he has re-election coming up. So I don't think he's going to implement this nationwide, federally, for those reasons. So it's constitutional. Opinion, leave it in the comments. So that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like the content, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notifications so you know I post videos in the future. But I gotta leave you with one more thing before the video's over, and that's the word of the day. Sorry, garbage truck outside. I should have closed the window before I got started, but I did not think about doing so. So, the word of the day for today is constitutional. Constitutional is spelled Constitutional. The definition of constitutional is relating to an established set of principles governing a state. So now I will attempt to use constitutional in the sentence. It is 100% constitutional to implement a mandatory vaccine mandate. Hopefully I use that sentence correctly. So again, if you like content, like and subscribe to the channel, turn on the post notification so I post videos in the future, and use constitutional in the comment section below so you know when I post videos in the future. So that's all I gotta say for this video. I'm about to try making 3 more videos for today, not posting all today of course, but I'm trying making 3 more videos. Hopefully the medication does not kick in before I make those other videos. So we'll see. 100% this. Peace.
Well, I've been stacking up. Nah, really that ain't accurate, cause I just spent my whole damn advance in the past couple months just to compensate for times we ain't have enough. Ooh.